Our day begins at 6 a.m. If we are both home, we go to the farm together, and we work there for an hour and a half, because then we need to send our children to school. We have different work there. Then again we go home, and about 5 o'clock there's a dinner, and then we come here again. This is a daily routine for the winter. In the summer, of course, there's much more work. In the winter, probably there are 5 or 6 hours a day. Sometimes we finish at 7 or 7:30 or even at 8. It goes faster when we work together. If I work alone, it takes much more time. We have 2 workers on the farm, me and my husband Rune. We also have 5 children and we have 3 grandchildren. The oldest is 27 years old. And yes, if we need help, they help us. I'm mostly responsible for the cows, and Rune is responsible for the land, food and equipment. We are actually not from a farmer's family. Rune's family had a few sheep, but he had no experience of having cows. We met in the agricultural college. Me and my wife work together at the farm, and we have everything under control. She also has another work, so she helps me in the evenings and during weekends. One person can also handle the farm, but it will be too tiring. If I worked alone, I would maybe work something about 7 hours, and together we work for 5 or 6 hours a day.
So I knew about farming. You could say I was almost raised at the farm, but I had no intention of becoming a farmer. And the decision to start farming was that we wanted to live here in this small community and not in the city. We wanted to have kids here, family here, live close to nature and with all the benefits. And then when you don't want to work in school or healthcare, there are not much other work.
In Norway, there is a tradition of running family farms, and today it has a unique form of management of small meat and dairy productions, based on the interaction of farmers and the state. Norway deals thoroughly with designing. Until 2010, up to 90% of farm projects were implemented by the government. Each county had its office that made cattle farm projects. It's important to mention that in the late 90s in Norway there were little investments in agriculture, and progressive managers and administrations, especially the administration of Finnmark, began organizing tours for Norwegian farmers to the European Union to examine the experience of European farmers and to implement the best practices and agricultural ideas. As a result, there was an investment flow in the agriculture, and depression among farmers in Finnmark declined. To build an agricultural facility, for example a farm, you can get up to 30% of the sum from the state. Also, we get a subsidy for each liter of milk supplied, and we get a grant for the land that we handle. For every hectare, we get certain subsidies. All these subsidies are differentiated. The farther the farm is to the north, the higher is the subsidy, because the conditions for farming are harsher there. Still, there are subsidies from the state for small farms, so Norway supports primarily small farms. And if you have more than 50 cows, then you don't get these grants.
There is a state program who provides farmers with funds to buy help, and this we also use. So sometimes we buy assistance if we both need to go away, and there is also a system if you fall sick. There is a system in Norway that would provide the farmer with labor, but the farmers have to kind of find labor, and here the environment is kind of small. We are only 3 farms here, so it's hard to employ one man to be on guard in case of illness. So we rely very much on family, and that's normal for farming around the world, I believe.
When we have vacation, we have it in the summer. It's because then the cows are in the mountains and when we have to go away when there are not the summer, I go and he stays, or he goes and I stay, and family helps us.
The main goal of agriculture is to fully meet the needs of the country in agricultural products. Today the farmers fully provide the country with milk, and 40% of meat products are produced locally. And there is a very strong system of restrictions on production quotas in Norway. The value of the quota is determined on the basis of farmland's area. Organizing of uninterrupted supply of milk for processing it from many farms is possible due to uniting farmers into cooperatives. This is a milk farm, and we have over 150 cows there, including 65 milking cows. We produce about 500,000 liters of milk per year. We manufacture milk, and milk tanker arrives once in 3 days and takes all the milk. 70% of our milk is processed into drinking milk, and the rest goes to the production of dairy products. We have a robot for 6 years, and it works really well. For all the time, it stopped only once, and quite for a short period, and the quality of milk is very high. Our farm is quite technological, and we all have the ability to just get the image of what's going on there from video cameras. There are 3 of us. For example, my farm is located 300 meters away. The second farmer lives 1 kilometer away, and the third is in 2 kilometers. That's why we need a maximum of 5 minutes to come here. For us, as investors, as farmers who are going to work here, the main goal was to build a farm of the highest quality, but not a very expensive one.
Vi har rundt 50 melkekyr og
We have about 120 cows there, and 50 of them are milking cows. There's only Norwegian Red breed. This is the most common breed in Norway, and it is good for production of both milk and meat. An average cow gives 30 liters of milk per day, and it is 9 or 9.5 tons per year. I had one cow which gave 65 liters of milk per day, and the annual record was 13,500 liters.
I have the same working hours, but I have 2.5 times, so I can make more working places here. You can see I have people that is hired in also. So I have been making something for the community also to be bigger.
We chose the circular project because there are some benefits with the circular farm. For instance, when you stand in the center of the farm, you have complete surveillance of every individual animal at the same time.
Vi har byggt en ny fjøs for 5 år siden.
We built this new farm 5 years ago. The number of dairy cows differs from 50 to 60. When we built it, most of the work was done by us. Therefore, we didn't have to take a big loan. Therefore, today we have a good financial situation. About milk production from one cow, the average figure is something about 10,300 liters of milk per year. The turnover here is about 4,300,000 Norwegian kroner per year. Well, it's clear that about half of it goes to cover all of our expenses and another half is our income. I think that a year after our farm was built, we have already begun to earn money. All of these farms are family farms. These are people who have agricultural education. Sometimes Russian students do practical training there. Some of them are from Arkhangelsk Agricultural College. This training became possible thanks to the cooperation between our countries. Would you agree to train young Russian farmers if they come for a practical training?
Ja, det skulle vara.
Yes.
jeg vet ikke hvem jeg var.
To be honest, I don't know. In any case, it's an additional work. The building material of these farms is very special. All 5 were built of wood and have high-tech equipment. The farms are operated by just 1 or 2 people, usually a husband and his wife. These projects have a number of important advantages. Firstly, their relative cheapness. To achieve that, it was necessary to find suppliers of cheap building materials and inexpensive labor, and to get special prices on equipment. Thus, each farm is a result of cooperation between companies from different countries, where the offer was most advantageous. It makes possible to invest into manufacturing. Besides, each of these projects is designed to increase the production by several times.
The idea of making an apartment is because you could make the apartment for 1/5 the price of a house, because the space is already here. There are, of course, possible problems. You have the issue of sound. You hear the cows from down to up. And there are the issue about smell. About smell, we have ventilation system in farm and in apartment. So there is high pressure in the apartment and low pressure in the farm.
And I'm happy living there. And yes, I hear my cows, but it's a safety for me, because when there are a problem here in the farm with the cows, I know instantly if there's something wrong. So so I'm glad I can hear them.
Prior to the construction, there were 3 individual farmers, and we have decided to unite and build this farm together. We chose to build the supporting structures of plywood for several reasons. First, it is more fire resistant compared to other materials. Secondly, it is certainly sustainable, since wood is the most eco-friendly material. And finally, when the internal structure is made of wood, you feel more comfortably here.
The economy in this project, I would say, is actually fabulous, because this building behind us here has costed to a total of about 8 million NOK. And that is achieved buying materials and everything abroad, not in Norway. Approximately, not for certain, but if we would buy all materials in Norway, it would have cost about 20 million NOK to build this farm building.
Well, first of all, there we had new requirements for farms, as well as the robot and animal welfare. I couldn't work on the old farm because my shoulders hurt.
Neshad was the only one who wanted to draw the circular farm for us. So he was the only one who was positive to the project. Everyone was negative and asking how much will this cost, but Neshad, he was only positive and saw opportunities.
We chose Neshad's project because of this unique design. Not only is it a fine building to look upon, the aesthetics, but also the interiors of this dairy farm. We can arrange the inside of the building as we please.
This building is very good space inside, good air. The animal is more happy. They produce more milk because they have more space, they have better air. And I am happy because the animal is happy, then it's good to go to work.
We had been working with Nedjad from 2006 till 2008, from the initial design to the moment the farm was built. Nedjad gave us great help, even more than we expected to get. We were especially pleased when he was able to reduce the cost of building materials for the construction of the farm.
Og i byggeprosess.
Det var jo han Netzer, og så var det
Of course, it was Nedjad and me. We worked together on the project, and I am very pleased to say that the result is much beyond my expectations.
Bønder i Norge ligger jo under gjennomsnittslønn.
Generally speaking about the farmer's income, it's usually just below the average one. But in our farm, the wage may vary and depends on how well we deal with it. Today we do it pretty well, and our salaries, in relation to the average Norwegian, are higher. Each of the 3 owners gets about 400,000 of Norwegian kroner per year. To build this farm we took a loan, but the loan is for 20 years. In addition, we are constantly investing in the development of production. In the year of 2000, it cost us about 8.5 million Norwegian kroner to build this farm.
The profit is better, and now we have also the opportunity to produce meat. Meat production on the goats. The old farm did give about 1 million NOK a year in brutto. And the new farm here will give about 3 to 3.5 million.
So now we can say that the farms can be built of wood, and the price will be reasonable. All the farms are nice looking and made of natural materials. First of all, Norway has distinctive economic opportunities. Economic stability and favorable investment climate provide great opportunities for builders and engineers. Speaking about personal characteristics of the farmers, they are surely very earnest people, taking their profession seriously.
It's more difficult being a farmer here in the Arctics.
Of course, we have Gulf Stream in Norway. So we are at 70 degrees north now. It would maybe compare to 60 degrees north in Russia, for instance. But the thing is, the growing season is short. But when it starts, we don't have springtime. It goes directly from winter to summer. And then it grows all around the clock because of the midnight sun. It's a free life. As a farmer in Norway, you are your own lord, your own landlord, and you are a free man who can work and decide over your own living. It's more a lifestyle than it is a work.
Yeah, it is.
All the owners of our farms are farmers in the 4th generation. Go back to the old farm?
No, thank you. No.